This is about something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blues, but mainly the borrowed part. To listen to early blues recordings was to realize that they were seen less as commercial productions than they were an extension of a shared storytelling tradition. For example, here's a chorus of one of Robert Johnson's most popular songs, Come On in My Kitchen. You better come on in my kitchen, 'cause it's gonna be raining outdoors. It's a memorable chorus, but Johnson essentially lifted it from a popular song at the time, which is also the best known and most covered song by the Mississippi Sheiks, Sittin' on Top of the World. This is their chorus. Now she's gone, I won't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. That song has similarities to earlier recordings, and Charlie Patton also recorded a version with a different name. Similar lyrics and references appear in songs by everybody, from Irving Berlin and Blind Lemon Jefferson to Bessie Smith and Ella Fitzgerald. Similarly, you'll find Robert Johnson lyrics also appear in other contemporary songs to the point where you don't really know who lifted lyrics from whom. But note this was actually commonplace because the origins of the blues are in an oral storytelling tradition. To many early blues artists, just like folk musicians, there was no difference in this than just retelling a story or parts of a story they'd heard, just rearranging phrases, lifting words, and adapting traditional instrumental structures. An underrated figure in the early history of the blues contributed to this tradition, as well as the body of songs as a whole. A class of musicians called songsters would go from town to town, playing songs picked up along the way. Then musicians would incorporate them into their own repertoires. It's how the blues came to grow throughout the South and in small cities and villages. Songsters generally didn't reap much more than tips or meals for their work, but each was a kind of Johnny Appleseed of the blues, and they planted seeds that would grow beyond their lifetime. And even after the blues became a recorded medium, tropes and themes continue to appear repeated in songs by a variety of artists. Consider the phrase, "Going to Louisiana, gonna get me a mojo hand." I first encountered it in the bridge of Annaloo Blues by Tampa Red, and it kind of goes like, "Go Louisiana, get me a mojo hand, and I won't stop, Anna, till I get you under my command." And that same phrase, or something very similar, appeared in songs by Lightnin' Hopkins, Muddy Waters, Red Foster, and many others. Tampa Red's context is a common one that gives some cultural insight. It's getting some kind of magic hoodoo talisman to make the object of your affection fall in love with you. If that's not very romantic, but hoodoo phrases and rituals inform many blues songs and also tie into the whole storytelling tradition. The blues, perhaps more than any other genre, is about developing a template within which to tell a tale, one that you've invented or a story that you heard around a campfire or from a traveling musician. The origin is less important than the song itself and the feeling that the performer wants to convey. And because many of these elements are shared freely, we are all richer for it.